Hey there, everyone. This is John, the Sea Monkey Dude here. And today we're going to do a little bit of a different type of video. As you can see, I'm still in my room where I keep all the sea monkeys, but I'm not sitting at my desk like I typically do. Got a weird camera angle here because I wanted to show you this big aquarium. This is a 15-gallon aquarium that I keep sea monkeys in. We affectionately call it the castle tank. There's a big castle in there. I don't think you can see it right now. Not very well, at least, because there's so much algae. So a lot of people ask me what I do about algae, how I grow it, how I clean it. So we're going to talk about that. I've been growing sea monkeys in this room for 3.5 years or so. So growing algae, this sounds sort of gross, is pretty easy for me at this point. There's got to be algae spores or molecules or whatever floating around in here. And typically when I start a new tank, with salt water and sea monkeys in there, algae starts growing within a couple weeks now, at the most. And then it keeps growing and growing and growing. It doesn't take too long. Now, when I first started, I started my first tanks back in December of 2020. It took me about 4 months to get algae growing really well in those first tanks. And I used plant grow lights and heaters, and then it started growing. And it was good after that. Now, when I reuse a tank too, even no matter how well I clean it, if I'm using a tank that I've used before, algae grows faster than a brand new tank. And I don't know if I suck at cleaning or if the algae molecules are just that good at sticking in there somehow or what. I'm also not super cautious about using different tools with different tanks. I'm just not, right? So I'll use aqua leashes and air pumps and cleaning tools in all the tanks. And so I know, stuff spreads that way too. Probably good stuff and bad stuff, but when you have as many sea monkey tanks as me, having a separate set of tools for each one, it's just a pain in the butt. I'm not going to do it. That being said, most of my tanks are doing really well. Right now, all of them are. And this one right here, I purposely have not cleaned off the algae off the sides of the walls here for a long time, just so I could show you guys how to do it. So this has been a couple months. Typically, I will clean it off once to twice a month. It's not an exact science. It's just when I look at it, it's like, it's looking ugly. Or, the algae's too bad. I can't record a video. I will go and clean it. You can see it's bad here. It's bad here. These are the two surfaces. Actually, on the other side too. I'll usually scrape that too. That I typically clean off. Actually, this one I don't do as much. Typically when I'm filming from here, and when I'm sitting at my desk, I'm looking in on this other side that's opposite to you guys right now. So I like cleaning that off too, so I can look in here. As you can see, it's hard to see any sea monkeys in here. It's a little cleaner at the bottom here. I can see some swimming around down here. You guys see those guys? You can see my bubblers going. I can't see that castle at all right now. So let me show you what I use to clean. I've got two main tools for cleaning the large sea monkey tanks. This thing right here is called the extra long, extra strong, man, that sounds funny, extra long, extra strong algae scraper for acrylic. So not this tank, but this one over here with the world's largest sea monkey colony, that is acrylic, that's not glass. So I bought this for that, but you know what? It seems to work well on glass too. So sometimes I use this in here, works well. I take off the lid and scrape it off. I'll show you guys in a second. I've got another tool that works well too. This thing is longer. It's got this telescoping handle on here, and it's got several tools that you can put on here. This one's a sponge, and if this stuff has not been caked on there for months and months and months, the sponge usually scrubs it right off, and you don't need to scrub harder. That other one's thicker and more coarse, more like a Brillo pad or something, right? Sponge works well. What I like about this one too is it's got other tools you can put on here in different shapes. Also, the handle is longer, and I don't know why, but it grosses me out to get my hands wet in here. I know, that's stupid. It's just salt water, and those are my pets in there. But I don't like getting my hands wet. It just seems gross. So I try to avoid that whenever possible. So I'm going to use this one, and if the stuff doesn't come off really well, then we'll switch over to that more heavy-duty scrubber. All right? I'm going to take off my jewelry because that would suck if that fell in there. That'd be a pain to dish out. So I've got a ring and bracelet. I'm going to leave my watch on. That doesn't fall off. And I'm going to remove the lid from here. This lid, it's just a big square plastic lid. This lifts open so I can add water and food when I need to. I do that several times per week. And now the whole thing is just open at the top, aside from the light that I put it in there, which I guess I can show you guys. Oh, I'm going to blind you. Ooh, how do I look? This light is from Ciora. I've got it on a timer, so it's on for like 12 hours a day or something like that. I don't even remember. I set up the timer when I first got it, and it's on for a long time, and it's off for a long time. It's typically on during the day when I'm in here, so I can watch them. And at night, it's off. I don't remember the exact times. It might be on from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That sounds right. Don't quote me on that. But whatever it is, it seems to be working. I'm going to put this back in there so I can sort of see what I'm doing. You can see how dark that tank is without the light. Awesome light here. Ciora is not paying me to say this or anything, but I like this light. Got it on Amazon. So take a look at their products. I'm going to put it back up there so we can see this tank easier again. I'm just going to scoot the light back a little bit further from where I had it so I can use this tool a little bit easier. And I'm sorry, the way this camera angle is, you guys are going to be looking at the tank and looking at my gut. I don't think you're going to be looking at my face very much in this video, so sorry about that. If that offends you, tough. Just quit watching. But hopefully it doesn't. But I stick this in here, and then very carefully, I'll start scraping down from the top. Look at that. Lots of algae. It sort of comes off just like paper when it's been this long. I haven't done this side in a while. And then I'm very careful not to smash the pets, because there's a lot of them. This tank doesn't have quite as many as the one next to it, but it's still got a good amount. And I don't want to smash any of them, so I sort of lean the edge of that sponge up at the top like that, and then just scrape downward. Now when this algae becomes too much, I'll use some tongs or something and remove it. So that's a lot. You can see that's coming off pretty well. It's like wallpaper. But when we're done cleaning this side and the front, this is actually cleaning really easily with that sponge. That's cool. I want to show you the back. I have not cleaned off the back there in like over a year. And it's got this whole big, you can probably see it right now. It looks like a big wallpaper of algae. See this big thing? And it's starting to fall off. And so I want to make sure there's no pets attached to it. And then I'm probably going to remove that. They don't need that much. And it's just sort of taken over the tank. So you can see I'm just carefully wiping this down with a sponge. Trying to get as much of it as possible. And if I don't get all of it, it's not the end of the world. Algae can be beneficial for our tanks, right? It helps aerate. Adult sea monkeys can eat it pretty easily. Pretty cool. Man, that whole wallpaper part just fell off. Look at that. We're going to get some tongs and take that out in a little bit here. Alright, let's do the front of the tank. That's usually my filming angle, is the front. I've got a chair right here that you can't see, but it's there. I typically will sit there and hold my phone and film when I want to show off this tank. So we're being careful not to smash any pets. Again, this tank doesn't have as many pets in it as my other large tank. It never has. The colony sort of fluctuates up and down in size. Another thing that's good about doing this is it helps stir up some of that gunk at the bottom. You know, that gunk is a combination of all sorts of things. It is uneaten food. Sadly, it's deceased pets. It's sea monkey eggs that are dormant and haven't hatched. It's shed exoskeletons. It's dust. It's all sorts of stuff, right? It's a combination of all that down there. And stirring it up sort of helps to help some of the dormant eggs hatch a little bit. So sometimes after I do this sort of a cleaning and I'm stirring everything up really good, I see a baby boom a couple days later. I don't think it's because they were all just mating at the same time. I mean, that does happen sometimes, but I think it's because I stirred it all up. I'm not adding more eggs or anything like that. The only eggs that are being added in here, anything that might be included, you know, in the sea monkey growth food, which isn't very much, I don't think. All right. That's looking pretty good. I'm gonna sort of wipe down or press this sponge, try to get as much of this water back in there. We're looking in there pretty good. I'm gonna grab a tool and see if we can pull that big, huge wallpaper algae out of there. Make sure there's no sea monkeys attached to it, because I don't need all that in there. It's gonna detract from the look of the aquarium. Yeah, that's really it. Wow, there's a lot of algae. All right, I've got some big tweezers that are down here. I haven't really used a whole lot, but they're made for aquariums. Got these ones and these ones. I think these are stainless steel. I bought these on Amazon too. Yeah, they're made for aquariums to help you set your decor. And they look like huge tweezers you'd use in like a science class or something. I'm gonna pull my trash can nearby. All right, there it is. And we're gonna see if we can pull out that huge thing of algae. I'll try to use these tweezers here and see if it works. I was gonna do that algae wallpaper thing as like a separate video, but it seems to want to come off right now. So we're gonna grab that. Wish me luck. Here we go. We're doing this all in one take, you guys. My fingers got wet. I don't like that. Ooh, this is coming off in pieces. I'm gonna try to grab it. Okay, look at that. That is insane. Well, we're getting it in pieces, you guys. Look at that. That is freaking algae. Bye-bye. All right. We're going to take another big chunk of it right here. I'm looking carefully to make sure we don't have pets on there. It is hard to grab because it is falling apart as I'm grabbing it, so I'm trying to do this quickly. Sorry if you don't see it all. Look at that. Craziness. We don't need all this in here. All right, I got some of the big pieces. I'll get a few more, and we'll turn off the camera. We'll leave some. Again, it's not bad for the pets. It's just sort of ugly, and they don't need all that. Yeah, I got some of the biggest ones, I think. My hands are all wet. Gross. Why is that gross? I don't get it. I never like being wet, I guess. Unless I'm like in the shower or the pool, because that makes sense. I don't like being rained on. And part of me, it's like, because I don't want my watch or my phones to get wet, because that's not good for them. But right now, I'm not even worried about that. My phones or watch aren't getting wet. Just don't like it. All right. Got a lot of that algae in there. You can see how easy that was to clean. We've got a lot of algae that's now floating down at the bottom. I'm going to let this settle a little bit, and we'll see how the pets look. I'll show you guys real quick how this is looking from the front. We will I'll grab the camera. You guys like, you know I like doing my videos in one take. You know why that is? Because I don't like video editing. It sucks. I'm not good at it. I don't enjoy it. So, my videos are pretty different than some of the other sea monkey videos out there. Alright, well there's me. Let's flip camera. Here's the tank that we just cleaned. We cleaned off the front. Look at all that crap at the bottom there. That is some algae. And then we cleaned off this side too. There's a lot of gunk floating around. That'll take a couple hours to settle. Then we'll be able to see the pets a little bit better. But you can see we got sea monkeys swimming around in here. If you look at the back of the tank, that's that poster that's available at seamonkeys.com. Again, that's at seamonkeys.com, not my website. That poster is available. And those are all pieces from Todd's collection. He designed that poster a few years ago, I think. And look at this. Paper algae that has come off the sides. I'm going to clean some of that crap out. I won't do it on camera. I did some. You guys saw how that works, but don't need to do it all on camera. But yeah, big sea monkey tank, lots of algae. That's how we clean it. Typically, I do it sooner than that, so we don't have this big paper algae going on. I'll show you how it looks on the other big tank right now, where when I scrub it off, it doesn't come off in big, huge flakes like that. It's almost like dust. And then the sea monkeys eat the dust, which is fantastic. See, look at this. This is the world's largest sea monkey colony, right? You guys are familiar with this tank. It needs to be scraped of algae too. When you look, it almost looks like it's a little foggy on the acrylic there, right? It's not huge, thick layers of algae, but there's like a haze covering it. Here, let's see if I can make it look easier here. Look better. Hey, Google, turn off the lights in the Pez room. That might help a little bit. Less glare. But you see that? See how there's a little bit built up? Usually that's about the time I will clean it. And I'll take that other tool that I showed you guys at the beginning of the video, and that's easier to use in here because this tank isn't quite as tall. It actually holds 1 gallon more volume, but it's not as tall as the Castle tank there. And I'll scrape all that stuff off, and it just sort of blends in the water and mixes in like a powder, you know, when I scrape it off. And the sea monkeys eat that, and what they don't eat, you know, winds up at the bottom of the tank. But you can see we got some gunk down there, which is normal, not a bad thing. Yeah. We can see these guys are doing really, really well. I know it's not the best quality video of them because of that algae that's building up on the acrylic there. But you can see we've got a lot. We've got big ones, we've got small ones. Don't have like a big baby boom going on right now, but there's always babies in here. You can see some. Lots of mating pairs. Whoa. You guys see what I see? Sea monkey threesome. There they go. Okay. Why is that always funny? It is. Maybe I'm immature, but I think it's funny. Oh, look at these guys. If I can get them in focus here. They're right up front. When you have as many sea monkeys as I do, it's hard to get the ones you want in focus. Oh, there we go. Look at those guys. Very cool. All right. One take. We did it. That's how I cleaned the algae. I waited extra long to make a better video for you guys so you could see how much algae really grows in here. I should sell it. Nah, I'm not going to do that. But hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that jazz. Share the videos. Go find me on Facebook. Look for Sea Monkey Dude John. And look at the different Sea Monkey Facebook groups that are out there. The Sea Monkey Clubhouse is my favorite of all of them, but there's 3 big ones. Don't forget to look for me on TikTok and Instagram as well. And I hope you guys have a great evening and good rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.